They say out here in the country, we just work to get that money. Oil rigs, diamond rings, fancy cars, those lavish things. But I would beg to differ that. Get your horse, I'll grab my hat. And we'll go ride this land together, come what may, through any weather. Strongest wind, waterfall, red sunset, we've seen it all. Hey, get your bow and arrow out. We'll go round and paint the town. And I'll come sweeping down the plain, my heart with the wind away. I'll go, we're all doing okay. Befriend a foe, befriend a neighbor. Don't know such thing as a stranger. Make amends, shed a tear. My brother, you are welcome here. That's what the state has taught me best. Put God first and love the rest. I bet all my money moving to LA. I even set my sights upon that Nashville stage. Loved a city boy for 2 whole years. Packed my bags but settled here, 'cause I'll come sweeping down the plain, my heart with the wind away. I'll go, we're all doing okay. And the open lake, so grand, the rolling hills that stand in splendor to unravel. And I know I could travel the world wide, but never have my eyes seen such beauty hidden in this land. We fell apart, we faced the fire. Life gets rough, but we look higher. Can't put price on heart and soul. Stay true to what you call your home. My Oklahomies everywhere. Let's get loud, let's get proud. To the world we're gonna sing it out. Oh, I'll come sweeping down the plain, my heart with the wind away. I'll go, we're all doing okay. And I'll come sweeping down the plain, my heart with the wind away. I'll go, we're all doing okay. LAHO with May, Oklahoma. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest met here recently, and she's going to be joining us on television here real soon. It's Taylor Spears, Miss Rodeo, Oklahoma for 2018. Taylor, come on up here. Yeah. Now, this is a compliment, but my mom would say you're a tall drink of water. You know, that's an old phrase, but it's a compliment, trust me. She's the first woman to earn the title of all 4 divisions, ladies and gentlemen, of Miss Rodeo, Oklahoma. She, in 2006, was Miss Oklahoma Rodeo Sweetheart. 2010, Miss Rodeo Oklahoma Princess. In 2013, Miss Rodeo Oklahoma Teen, and now serves the state of Oklahoma as the 2018 Miss Rodeo Oklahoma. Taylor will be competing this December in Las Vegas, representing Oklahoma in the national event. We wish her well for that. She's from Cleveland, Oklahoma, over by Tulsa. She's going to a school, Stillwater, is that the name of the place? Or, yeah, okay, Boomer Sooner, I'm sorry. And see, I went where they didn't have admission standards, so that's why I went to Norman. Anyway, she's a junior and a Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Communications, and she's a 2017 Spirit Rider. So you get to ride the horse whenever they score a touchdown, right? Okay, all right. Well, guess what? She dreams of one day of becoming a news broadcaster, and she is a real delight. Thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Spears, Miss Rodeo, Oklahoma for 2018.
So everywhere you go, you never know what they're going to say about you. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes you get to proofread the script, and most of the time you don't. But I can honestly say that was such an introduction. Thank you so much, Mr. Keim, for having me here and for being so kind with your introduction. That's one thing I was just talking to a few of you about earlier was the city of Enid. All of you guys understand that you guys are all coming for one purpose, and that's to help others and to enable others and to better everyone for the greater good. I'm still praying for all the OU fans out there, but I think I'm safe to say you always have to throw in the pistols firing, go Pokes, which I'm so proud that most of you in the room are Pokes fans. But all of that aside, at the end of the day, when you guys lay your head down in Enid, Oklahoma, you guys can surely and truly say that you guys live in one of the greatest cities in Oklahoma, simply because you have the support from the people, you have the wind and the views, the scenic routes as you drive in and drive out, and overall, you guys are genuinely caring and supportive. As Miss Rodeo, Oklahoma, I travel all across the United States, from Florida to California, up to Canada, and down to Texas. So everywhere in between, I get to interact and meet so many different individuals. And I am very humbled to not only say that I have the opportunity to be on TV for the live Good Morning Enid next week, so I'm super excited about that, but I also had the honor and the privilege of being on the show earlier, I guess it would have been in April. But with that being said, I have never felt more loved and more welcomed by a community, and so with that, I think you guys should give yourselves a round of applause because you guys are making a difference. I'm so excited to listen to see what Enid has in store for today, and overall, thank you from the bottom of my heart, from all agriculturists across the state. We admire Enid, so thank you.
Well, that place looks awesome. Right there.
Morning, dear.
Morning. I think we should go on a trip today.
Where to?
I think I'm gonna make it a surprise.
I hate surprises. Here's your coffee.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What street are we on?
We're on 412. It's right there.
Oh. Do you know where you're going? So where are we going today?
Well, we just got here.
Oh. How do you say that?
Enid.
Enid. I've never been to Enid. Have you been to Enid?
No, I just read about it.
Oh, okay. I guess we're in for an adventure today.
Guess so.
Look at the longhorns. Stop. I want to take a picture.
Nobody in Oklahoma likes longhorns.
I still want a picture.
Fine.
Cherokee Strip Museum. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's a little bit different.
Maybe we should check it out.
Okay. Wow, will you look at that ballpark?
Oh, that looks like a great place to play baseball. I bet you wish you could have played there.
Looks like I would have loved to have played there.
Oh my gosh, look at that Ferris wheel. It's adorable.
Well, that'd be good for a little one.
Yeah, it would be.
Look at all those old trains, honey.
Well, it's a train museum, dear.
Is
What
that a castle?
Leonardo's?
You look at that bridge, honey.
It's painted like a shark.
It's a shark? That's strange. You look at all those cows.
Hey, look, there's a cowboy too. Look at that airplane.
Wow, there's a whole Air Force base over there.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. You could have told me you were going to stop. Look, where are we?
Driving!
Hey, look at that. Let's stop and take a picture.
Alright.
Babe, I don't think you're supposed to park here.
Don't worry. I know a guy. Boomer?
What's that?
I know, but it's really interesting. Wonder what's going on at the Central National Bank Center.
I don't know. Let's go check it out.
Alright.
Would you please welcome to Enid, Oklahoma, the Gills. Well, we're here to hear Mayor Shewey and now the State of the City address. Mayor Shewey's been mayor since 2011, I believe. He was born in Orienta, Oklahoma. Graduated, I didn't realize this, but he went to high school at Fairview, played football at the University of Tulsa. He's a Golden Hurricane graduate. So it's my pleasure to introduce our mayor, Mr. Bill Shewey. Mayor, the floor is yours.
I had an interesting conversation about 20 minutes ago with a highway patrolman. Mr. Jordan knew where Orienta, Oklahoma was, and he knew where my house was. He may have been looking for me, but I got out in time. A lot of memories in that house. Thank you, Steve, in organizing today's events. I do appreciate it. And I thank each of you for taking the time to be here today. I too would like to thank some special guests that are in attendance this morning, including our city commissioners, Tammy Wilson, Ron Jansen, anybody else? I know George is at the Special Olympics at Stillwater today, and the others are busy. I want to thank our state, our city sponsors, St. Mary's Regional Medical Center, Tony, thank you, and the Central National Bank and Trust Company. Both are great community partners, and we are pleased to team up with them today for today's luncheon. My heartfelt thanks to our city manager, Gerald Gilbert, and the 500 plus employees of the city of Enid who work behind the scenes, enabling our city to run as efficiently and as smoothly as possible. Gerald, we thank you. And to all of our special guests from the Enid business community, state government, Vance Air Force Base, law enforcement, fire, medical, and our educational community. Thank you for attending our meeting today. I have a few family members here today that I want to thank for their support. My wife, Janet, our daughter, Jennifer, our son, Brian, and Brian's middle daughter, Katie, who is married to a KC-135 pilot and lives in London, England. Katie, glad you're here. I am honored to have former Governor George Nigh join us today, and I look forward to hearing his comments in just a few minutes. Governor, thank you. Today's theme for my comments is entitled Focusing Forward. However, I do have a huge problem today. My problem is sharing with you the tremendous success of our great community has experienced over the past 12 months. But to share all this great news in a few minutes is why I have a problem. I want to provide plenty of time for Governor Nigh to share his thoughts, and he will. Today, as we focus forward, I'm excited to reflect on the achievements over the past year and share my hopes for what Enid has to look forward to in the future. Here's a brief list of economic activities and achievements over the past year. Number one, water is the new gold in Oklahoma, and we have moved into the second phase of development regarding a 70-mile pipeline from Call Lake, east of Ponca City, to Enid. The new source of water will help secure adequate supply of water for the next 50 years in Enid and northwest Oklahoma. You've noticed some construction sites around town. Our infrastructure continues to experience upgrades with the widening project of Willow Road and improvements to the Cleveland and Chestnut intersection is in the near future. Construction of a new overpass bridge on Highway 81 should get underway later this summer. Johnston Seed celebrated 125 years of operations just a few weeks ago. According to Joey Mybergen, Johnston's Seed Company is quickly making Enid the grass seed capital of the world, not just Oklahoma, of the world. That's Joey. Special thanks to Lou Mybergen for his leadership in this great Enid company. A new soccer complex announcement was made recently. Enid will have a state-of-the-art soccer complex. Once again, we will be the hub of athletic events in this part of Oklahoma. The soccer complex will have 12 fields and a major field event, major complex, and it's in the process right now, and that should occur within the next 2 to 3 years. The Atwoods family made the decision to invest in their existing distribution center here in Enid. This commitment to the Enid community will impact the local economy for quite some time. Atwoods is a great partner for the city of Enid. Over the past year, Public Service Company of Oklahoma announced they will be building the nation's largest wind farm in the Oklahoma Panhandle and transmitting the power to their customers in multiple states in our region. The Wind Catcher Energy Connection Wind Farm project will travel just north of Enid, across the northern portion of our great state. This is a lot of zeros. The $1.3 billion coke plant reuse expansion project is complete. I've been told this is the largest industrial water reuse project in the state of Oklahoma. Congratulations to our corporate partner located just east of Enid. Need a hotel room? You're in the right city. We have a lot of hotel rooms in Enid, Oklahoma. Changes are underway in downtown Enid. Just take a glance out the north door when you leave to see the construction effort underway for the Best Western Glow Hotel. If you look out there today, you will see the footings with some rebar sticking up and about 3 pieces of white PVC pipe. Hopefully they will cover all that with about 4 floors and 96 rooms. I'm sure that will happen. Just like progress, like Willow Road, it takes a long time to get started and complete. Dr. Floyd, you understand that. That crane that you have out there, I've been hoping for 40 years since we lived in Enid. I pat you on the back for what happened. This time next year, I am hopeful, Tammy, Ron, we will look out the window and see folks checking in at the hotel. It's only been 7 years and 16 days. But progress is slow, but progress is good. We do things right in Enid, Oklahoma. Sometimes it takes a long time. Just recently, Enid was ranked as the 11th best of small cities to start a business. That's according to the personal finance website, wallethub.com. We ranked higher than Edmond, Stillwater, Muskogee, Midwest City. That is not bragging, that's just the truth. I am pleased to announce the 2017 City of Enid Annual Report is available online for you to review. Go to enid.org and you will find the link to preview our city's annual report. The Oklahoma Municipal League will have its Mayor's Council of Oklahoma in Enid on June the 20th through June the 23rd. We anticipate having 100 of the 500 mayors in the city of Enid here in June. When we told them they were coming to Enid, I said they have one thing that they wanted to see, and that was a tour of Vance Air Force Base. Colonel Judy, thanks for your help. There's some pretty honorary people on that bus, so watch them closely. Anyway, that was the number one thing that they wanted to see when they come to Enid, Oklahoma. Hopefully the sound of freedom will get through the buses that they're using to have the tour out of the base. We thank you. Also, we have good news, as I mentioned earlier. We have a new complex at the Enid Public Schools southeast of the high school. That crane is busy right now, and it's good to see Dr. Ford. And finally, in May of 2018, I am pleased to announce the state of the city is strong. Let's continue to make Enid a city of action. Let's continue in our efforts to make progress together. Let's continue to be the community that is vibrant, original, and boundless, and expand our collective efforts to focusing forward for the remaining time in 2018. Thank you all for joining me here today. You are the ones that make Enid what it is today. On behalf of the City of Enid, thank you for your continued support for and believe in the city I am proud to call home. May God bless you. May God bless Enid, and may God bless America. And remember, this is another great day in Enid, Oklahoma. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you very much for your comments. Ladies and gentlemen, about 20 years ago, I had the privilege of being introduced to Governor George Nigh and his lovely wife Donna at a Special Olympics event, again, 20 years ago. And from that time forward, I've called on him to help in a variety of things, and he's always been gracious and accommodating. George Patterson Nigh has served 4 different terms as governor, more than anyone in state history. He was born in McAlester, Oklahoma, graduated from Eastern Oklahoma A&M at Wilburton, down in the southeastern part of the state, graduated from East Central, down at Ada. He returned to McAlester and became a school teacher. In 1950, at the age of 23, George Nigh became the youngest member of the state legislature when elected to the House of Representatives from Pittsburgh County. In 1953, he introduced the bill that made Oklahoma the official state song. In 1958, at a staggering age of 31 years old, George Nigh was elected lieutenant governor, the youngest in state history and also the youngest in the United States at that time. Sworn in as governor of Oklahoma in 1963, Governor Nigh served longer than any other governor in Oklahoma history. And when he was re-elected to his last term, he carried all 77 counties in the state. Our speaker today is known as Oklahoma's ambassador. He certainly is an ambassador for me. George Nigh served as president of UCO, if you remember that, University of Central Oklahoma. George and his wife, Donna, lead the Nigh Foundation, a nonprofit organization serving Oklahomans with developmental disabilities. So would you please join me in giving George Nigh an Enid, Oklahoma welcome.
Thank you very much. And before you turn your chairs or anything, I want you to turn them back toward the center of the table, not looking this way. So whichever way, just turn it back toward the center of the table. We've met a lot of people today. Now turn your chair and face the center of the... Listen to me, damn Republicans. No, this is Garfield County. And yeah. Just look in this. And the reason being, we've met a lot of people, but I'm always amazed that sometimes you're at a function and you don't even know who's sitting next to you. So at the count of three, I want to see if you're paying attention to me. At the count of three, turn and shake hands with the person on your right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is Garfield County. Okay, now while you're still facing that way, look at the person directly across, don't look at me, look at the person directly across the table from you. Look deeply into their, not that deeply, sir. Look deeply into their eyes and say, God loves you. And I'm sure as hell trying. Okay, now turn your chairs back this way and let's come together celebrating the mayor and his accomplishments, celebrating Enid and the state of the city. That's interesting. They asked me to come up and talk about the state of the city. I'm so used to, the state of the state. But here we are, the state of the city. And I've often wondered, what is a state? The state of the state. The same word means two different things. The state of the state. The condition of the territory. The state of the state. Or the state of the city. The condition of the city. And I want to compliment you on your selection as mayor. He has done great. He has been a good host. But I want to, and the young lady that sang, I want to thank her and her husband. But I thought it was interesting. I wanted to see what they put up. My gosh, I need to get that. But anyway, the only first cousin I had in my whole life was Robert Nigh of Nigh Savings in Enid, Oklahoma, who taught at Phillips University. The only first cousin I ever had. Lived right here. I came up here to JC meetings. I came up here, of course, campaigning. We talked about Woodard, Oklahoma. Denny Hopkins called me just the other day. He calls me once a month. He just cheers me up. And out at Laverne, the mayor of Laverne, and I talk about all these things, and I came up and I was talking to the gentleman who was presiding, who invited me to come up, and he offended me because he said, did you come up I-35? The Nigh Northwest Road does not start on I-35. I ain't driving anywhere up here without coming that way. And it was in Woodard that we announced the Northwest Expressway. Not that we were going to 4-lane it, but in Woodard, Oklahoma in 1982, we announced that we were going to improve every foot of road from Oklahoma City to the Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, and to the line, past Boise City. We announced it in Woodard, and Denny Hopkins was chairman of the event. 353 miles long. And later at a National Governors Conference, I was told that was the longest single highway announcement by any governor in American history. And you wanted me to come up I-35. But what's important, now wait a minute. I love something the mayor said. Can I quote you, Mayor? May I quote you? He talked about all these things he done. Well, let me see. And I thank you for the introduction. I carried all 77 counties. I was governor 4 times. Now, that ain't bragging. That's just the facts. Thank you, Mayor. I wondered how I was going to work that in. So I want to thank you for letting me say that. But 350, and it's what's funny is that, Mayor, you'll learn this. You're leaving office next May. Whenever, can I prepare you? Somebody's going to, about June next year, somebody's going to say something. At Westminster Presbyterian Church in Oklahoma City, where Don and I go, the minister said, we have some out-of-town guests here. Let's let them stand so we can welcome them. And about 8 people stood up at Westminster Presbyterian. And 2 pews in front of me, this guy stood up, and we applauded. Oh, welcome to our church. God love you. And they said, now would the members stand and welcome them? Well, we stood and shake hands. And I reached across the pew to the guy 2 rows in front of me, and I said, I'm George Nigh. He said, your road needs some work. He was from Woodard. I said, I've been out of office 20 years. So just think how many times Joel said, I haven't been mayor for 30 years and you're still complaining. But anyway, the highway. And I asked a while ago, the manager, the highway that goes east of here connects to I-35 to the turnpike. I can remember in my first days as governor, I was driving in this area and I saw this 4-lane with weeds coming up. They were just sitting there. I said, what's that? And they said, well, one of our former governors was mad at Garfield County and stopped construction. So I got back to the Capitol and I called and I said, finish that road. In the Northwest Highway, in the Kilpatrick Turnpike, et cetera, et cetera. The first National Governors meeting I attended was for new members in 1979 in Philadelphia. And they had for the good of the order. So from wherever you come, wherever you live, for the good of the order, everybody else had to leave. The spouses, the press secretaries, the security, everybody had to leave, just the governors, and 5 sitting governors told the new governors what to expect. What can you expect? You're taking, I promise I'll do, you make all the, you don't know what even you're promising. And the sitting governors, the first line was, the most frequent request you will get is fix my highway, fix my road. And that's the truth. Yes, people want to be on the OU Board of Regents. Yes, they want to be on the OSU Board of Regents. Yes, they want to be on the Regional Board of Regents. But let me tell you, since we're at a city of Enid, I was running for governor in '78, and I had a county manager in every county. They don't do that much anymore. I had city chairman. And I didn't have anybody in Ponca City. And I remember one day my phone rang and they said, hey, Nigh, yeah. I said, this is so-and-so. I understand you don't have a county manager in K County, do you? I said, no, I don't. He said, I'd like to be your manager. And I said, but I don't know you. He said, yeah, but I'd like to be your manager. I said, okay, I need one. I carried the county. So when it was over, when the election was over and I had won and I carried K County, I got on the phone and whatever I did, I called that guy. At my first term, that was a long time ago, I called that guy. And I said, since you didn't know me, why did you call and volunteer to be my chairman? He said, well, I was at a chamber meeting, and the president of the Chamber of Commerce got up and said, okay, have we got our ass covered? The chairman of every Republican and Democratic candidate running for office that year for governor was a member of the board of directors of the Ponca City Chamber of Commerce. Who's got Dairyberry? Who's got so-and-so? Who's got so-and-so? Anybody got Nigh? Anybody got Nigh? And he told me, he said, I said, I'll take him. Yes, I four-laned the road from Ponca City to I-35 my first month in office. But anyway, the most frequent request you get. And so they said, when they invited me to come up, they said, reminisce. And so all the things that happened coming up, Norris Price drove me. He worked in my campaign from Midwest City. And he drove me. And I said, look at that, look at that, look at that. And I loved coming up this way, and I said, there's a Love station. And I thought of Tom Love. And I remember driving along the Columbia River between Washington and Oregon on the highway with two other guys, and we're filling up the service station. Filling up the gasoline. And I said, oh, stop at that station. And they said, we just stopped about 30 miles ago. We don't need gas. We're gassing up there. It was a Love station on the border on Columbia River between Washington and Oregon, and it was Love's. Started right down here. I said, when I was on the JCPenney board, we moved JCPenney from New York City to Plano, Texas. And we used to have board meeting there. I said, I'd drive down. I was the only one that didn't fly, because they came from the East Coast mostly, the other board members. But I was on the board because the CEO of the board was from Claremore, Oklahoma. And he asked me to serve. But I said my favorite intersection in the Dallas area had a Love's, a Brahms, and a Sonic. I said, get that Texas money. Can you imagine? And then that's when I tell at commencement, you can do it from here. Friday night, I'm going to be making a commencement speech in McAlester, Oklahoma, my hometown, where I graduated years ago. It'll be the great occasion for me because I made my first commencement speech in 1950 at Plainview in a two-room schoolhouse in Pittsburgh County. I hitchhiked home from Ada, Oklahoma, East Central. I was running for the legislature. I hitchhiked home on 270. I got out at our Paler, hitchhiked a ride in the back of a pickup truck that was going 2 miles north on a gravel highway to Plainview for me to make my first commencement speech. I'm going back to Pittsburgh County Friday night for my 69th consecutive year of making at least one commencement speech every year. From a two-room schoolhouse in Plainview, just outside of our Paler, to McAlester. And I'm going to tell those kids, you can do it from here. You can do it from here. I love Oklahoma. I'm proud to be an Okie from us. I love Oklahoma. You can do it from here. When I dedicated the Walmart store on the Interstate 40 in Oklahoma City, and Sam Walton introduced me, and he said, if everything I can do for you, let me know. I said, you can do something for me right now, right on. He said, what's that? I said, give me that ball cap. He had on a baseball cap with grease over here. He'd driven in his pickup truck to open Walmart. And it started right down here. And just think what Vance, where it could be anywhere in this nation, what it's done. And things reminded me. And so when I came by and I was thinking about commencements, what triggered that was I saw the sign that said Pioneer School. I don't know what year it was ago, but I made the commencement speech at Pioneer. But there's two commencement speeches I want to tell you about. The two best ones ever. One was in Enid High School. One was in Weatherford. And the one in Enid it was a stormy night. And we were outside. And I leaned over to the principal or the superintendent, and I said, what's happening first? Are the kids coming across the stage first, or am I speaking first? They said, well, you're speaking first, and they'll walk across. I said, I think you better let the kids go first. And then we'll see. I made the most popular speech I've ever made in my life. Seriously, here in Enid, Oklahoma. The kids came across, the crowd cheered and cried. And he said, and now our speaker tonight will be George Nigh. And I got up and I said, congratulations. And everybody gave me a standing ovation as they ran and the rain came down. That was my whole speech. Congratulations. I bet you wish I'd have done that just a while ago, but it's not raining in here, so I've still got some more time. Best speech I ever made. But I was talking to the kids at Weatherford night, they're sitting there in folding chairs, not like y'all have, but folding chairs in a football stadium, on the field, and their grandparents and cousins that had driven in for 50 miles or from out of state. And here, not a single person at that commencement came to hear me. My wife wouldn't even go. She said, I've heard you. I thought, what am I going to say tonight? What am I going to say? They came here and they're going to say, shut up, sit down. We're waiting for the senior party. Get out of here. I'm going to lose the votes. I think I'm going to bore them to death. And about that time, a full moon came up over my shoulder in the back. A full harvest moon, but it was in May. Full moon came up over behind me. I said, don't look at me. Like I said a while ago, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Look at that moon, because that's my commencement speech. That moon. Look at that moon. Weatherford, look at that moon. Because that's my speech. You think you can't do it because you're from Weatherford, Oklahoma. What can I do? Look at that moon. You see that speck? Look at that moon, but look for that speck. Coming home from that moon that night was Colonel Tom Stafford in his spaceship that had just gone around the moon, and who had just a few years before sat on that same field in one of those folding chairs, thinking, what chance do I have? I can't do it here from Weatherford, Oklahoma. Colonel Tom Stafford. And when Russia and the United States joined together and sent a team around wherever they went in space, Tom Stafford was the commander of that. And when we welcomed the Gills, I was just on Vince Gill Street yesterday. You can do it from here. And so I want to say, in wrapping up, things reminded me. as I came here. Vance. We came up Vance. My wife and I came up here to Vance. We flew over 4 states in 15 minutes. They put my wife in a chair in a room before, and then they showed how emergency, but they didn't tell her, and she hadn't fastened her belt, and they pushed the button and it shot her across the room. She's screaming bloody murder. And we're still on the ground in a room sitting on, she said, and then I was thinking, do you know that this was the second place, according to history, next to last place, when they chose the Air Force Academy location in Colorado? It was famous. And the President of the United States, Dwight Eisenhower, chose Colorado because he played golf there. But look what we got in Vance. So look what we got in Naval Depot, Army Depot at McAllister. Look what we got at Tinker. And you can do it from here. Military. I told the highway patrolman, I remember at one time I made a speech, I think in Alva. I was driving home, and I stopped at the highway patrol headquarters over here, and I was talking to him on the phone this morning as we drove by. I said, I'm driving by the highway patrol headquarters. He said, they moved them. I said, oh, because the building I remember that I stopped in one night driving back to Oklahoma City when David Hall was governor, I stopped at the highway patrol for a rest stop. And I walked in and they said, Nigh. I said, yes, Governor Hall is trying to find you. I said, well, I just accidentally stopped. They were rioting at the prison at McAllister, my hometown. Said, Governor Hall needs you at the Capitol now to help them plan. No one knows the layout of the prison but you, because I used to represent them in the legislature. Your past history means so much to you. So let me wrap this up at saying that all these fun things, a highlight was when I went past Waukomis. I said, happy. 1950, the year I was elected to the legislature, was the first year they invited me to speak at Girls State. And I've spoken there 67 years. Going to do it again in 2 weeks. I'm at Happy Camp at Girls State. Happy Camp in George Nigh were the legislative advisors for Girls State legislature. Then I went to Boys State also, but Happy Camp. And what a classic example that I want to close with about if you're seriously wanting to help Enid, Barfield County, if you're really interested in helping Northwest Oklahoma, you work together, even if you don't agree. You find ways of working together. Happy Camp, Republican congressman, endorsed me for governor because we'd become friends at Girls State. You work together. Tim Leonard, the state senator from Beaver, when the legislature was divided and I was trying to work and couldn't get things, he was head of the Republican caucus, Democrat. I called Tim. And he would work with me and would work with The Republicans work with the Democrats. We work together. We work something out. I didn't always get what I wanted. I didn't always get it the way I wanted. But I got most of the things that I wanted in my leadership position by working together. And so the state of the city, the state of the state, the state of the nation, in my opinion and based on my experience, has a better chance when we come together and say, hey, let's try to work this out. So today, I want to thank Garfield County. I want to thank Enid for all the years that I've been associated with you and the support, but mainly for the leadership that you have given Northwest and North Central Oklahoma. I think what's interesting is when you ask people, where's the center of Oklahoma, they'll say Oklahoma City. And then I ask the question, where's the center of the state line at the top of the state? And they'll say, oh, Ponca City, I-35, Alva. But the important thing about being governor is that you represent all 77 counties. The important thing about being mayor is you represent every councilman's district. The important thing about loving your hometown is showing you love it by not just being content to go to work every day and go home at night, but volunteering, committing, working for the future, so that a mayor next year can stand up here and read even more. Look what we've done. So the state of the state, one of the most important things that happened to me started in 1943. I was a sophomore in high school, sitting up on the back porch, listening to Lucky Strike Hit Parade. Number 10, most popular song in the nation. Number 9, number 6, number 4, number 2. The number 1, most popular song in the nation. I said, 1943, they're singing about my state. Most popular Broadway production in the world about our state. She sang, I love Oklahoma. Yeah, we love our Miss Rodeo. 1953, as he said, I introduced the bill to make the song from that play our state song. And it was tough. It was tough. Because old man Huff from Ada said, you want to change our state song? You want to change it from one that was written that's steeped in tradition and couched in history? And you want to change it to a song that was written by 2 New York Jews who've never even been in Oklahoma? And they say taters and tomatoes? I thought, my gosh, I'm losing here. And he stopped, and then he went out among the legislators, and he started, I give you singing the state song. I give you a land of sun and flowers and you might want to stand, summer the whole day long. And then Oklahoma, Oklahoma, fairest daughter of the West. Oklahoma, Oklahoma, it's the land I love the best. I have always sung her praises. And he started crying, but I have not, and he got the legislators to stand because it was the state song. I have not said the half, so I give you Oklahoma. It's a toast we all can quaff. I said, quaff? That's quaff. He can't tater and tomato, but he can quaff. And I knew my bill was going to go down. So I got up. I said, Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent. We lay over this bill for one legislative day or something. He said, okay. And old man Huff didn't know to object. And I got on the phone and I called Oklahoma. I got the legislator, Ira Humphreys from Chickasha, Oklahoma College for Women. I said, can you all sing music from Oklahoma? I said, yeah, we just did it. I said, I need your choir up here tomorrow. I called Ridge Bob, who was living in Tulsa, but was the only Oklahoman to ever star as Curly on Broadway. And he went to high school with me in McAllister. I said, Ridge, you still got some of that crap you wore? He said, yeah. I said, put it on. You're going to sing tomorrow. Get down here to the legislature. And I called Jenkins Music Company. I said, you got any legislation you're interested in passing? They said, yes, we do. I said, I need a piano. Next day, there was a piano. And the girl came, hot chicks and ducks and geese, but people don't okay. And oh, you Hawaii, poor Judge. And suddenly, the piano went boom, 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 and Ridge kicked open the door into the Oklahoma and sang it where the wind comes. And the crowd, the legislators stood up and started applauding. 300 people in the gallery stood. I put them all up there. They stood. They stood in the Oklahoma, okay, yeah. And I said, Mr. Speaker, I move House Bill 1049 passed. And that's how you got your state song. So remember, I love Oklahoma. You remember, I love Garfield County. You remember, I love Enid. You remember, I love northwestern Oklahoma. Pull together so that the next mayor can stand up here and proudly say, look, I ain't bragging, look what we've done. Thank you.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oh, Oklahoma, every night my honey lemon and I sit alone and talk and watch a hawk making late